Hello and welcome to Q Radio and Ulster Rugby's The Breakdown Podcast, a chance to sit down with the Ulstermen and get to know them a little bit off the pitch. I'm Simon Hunter, and joining me this week are brothers Kyle and Zack McCall. Boys, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Alright, how's it going?
Yeah, all good. Cheers, yeah.
Well, it's great to have you in. I think firstly, we need to say two brothers, both in the Ulster setup. Let's take it right back to the start. Where did your love of rugby start, and can you remember the first time you picked up a rugby ball?
Yeah, well, for me it was Dad. He brought me to the first session at Lisburn Minis, and ever since then loved it. I sort of followed that from my big brother. He tried it out for a bit and didn't really like it, but I picked it up and just couldn't get away from it, and I think Zach followed after. So
yeah, mine was a wee bit different. I was a bit of a motorhead when I was younger. Used to race motocross bikes.
Wow,
and it wasn't until about P6, P7, and I kind of got roped into playing a game at mini level for just a friend that I knew, and he asked if I would be interested in playing, and ended up playing quite regularly. And from then on, like, we just went to Wallace, and I was just natural to continue on, keep playing, you know, and that just ended up leading into the Ulster setup and whatever comes from that, like, so.
Yeah, and there are 3 years of difference between the two of you, aren't there?
Yeah.
3 years.
3 years, and then we got an older brother who's also 3 years older than me, so 6 years older than Zach. So yeah, as Zach said, we all sort of. Ryan is the older brother, and he loved the motorbikes.
Okay, yeah.
And we all did a bit of that when we were in sort of primary school and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was obviously more inclined to the rugby, and Ryan more inclined to the motocross, but Zach was stuck in between, didn't really know. And then when it came to going to Wallace High School, sort of left the bikes behind and picked up the rugby.
Yeah. It's kind of strange, like, I can remember, like, going to the bikes real early on Saturday morning, and then Kyle, like, would have come after his rugby match in the morning, and, like, I joined in the afternoon, and he had to go out and do his own practice on the track and stuff, and then, like, he would have done the last couple of races in the day, you know, and just a wee bit strange. We're doubling up on that, you know.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of the sporting pedigree, well, the rugby pedigree, especially from Wallace, obviously Mr. Stockdale as well as you two boys. How much did the rugby setup at school then help, and how influential was it in terms of helping you guys to focus and becoming Ulster rugby players? Yeah,
well, at Wallace anyway, when I was there, the setup was really good. Like, Derek Suffren there and Neil Hines sort of leading. We were in early Monday, Wednesdays for gym sessions, like before even school started. So
fair play.
And back then it was more like circuit based and stuff like that. And then we go to school, do your study, and then your training in the afternoon off the pitch after school. So it's.
The thing with Wallace is that, like, because they don't have, like, the massive pool of players that some other schools might have, like, there was a lot of, like, 1%ers, like, who tried doing, like, different wee things, like video and stuff like that there, just to try and, like, boost ourselves, you know, to try and compete with those other schools, you know. And Suff was really good with that, you know. He was very tuned in on that kind of stuff, so that really helped, because we were quite a small group of players, you know, and that kind of helped us bring us all together, you know, and then kind of create, like, a bit of a culture there as well. So and obviously having each other, were there quite a few tussles in the garden, big tackles coming in, were there as well? Yeah, well, I think it was mostly touch, like, in the driveway, and mum and dad would always be going mental because the ball would be hitting the windows and stuff, and but I suppose that's where most of the skills came from, to be honest. Like, that's
the 1v1 touch.
Like,
in the driveway, like, just nearly every day after school, just messing around, and it was good crack. But he was always raging when he lost.
Well, that's as you can imagine, you would be, sibling sort of rivalry and all the rest of it. Does that help? I was going to ask, does that help the to hone that competitive spirit? Of course, when you get into the Ulster setup, as we see, there's so much of that and so much focus you need to have. No need for me to tell the two of you boys, but did that really help to hone that instinct?
Yeah, like definitely. I can remember even like playing on the PlayStation or whatever, and we'd have to use we would have to put posters over the walls because someone had ended up going a bit mad, so had to cover up a dent in the wall a few times, hide from mum and dad. But
yeah,
no, that just was our competitiveness. Like, just we were always raging when we lost and something like that there, and that was in pretty much everything that we did. Like even with Ryan, like it was just always competitive. Like and just trying to get one up on each other. Like,
yeah, I suppose it's a cliche when people say, I don't want to look too far in the future, and I don't want to maybe plan too far ahead too rigidly. But was there a time when you both felt, I really want to be playing for Ulster, and was there a time when you both were able to put on paper, so to speak, when you'd like to see yourselves in the setups?
Well, for me, it was in third year. It was whenever so a lot of the better players would play up medallion.
Yeah. And
in third year, I didn't. And that was sort of when I sort of thought, like, I want to stick my head down here and try and better myself and get through all the setup. But that was sort of when I know when it was, because it was 12. It's coming up 12 years that I went off chocolate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
fair bit of discipline for.
I went off chocolate as a sort of consequence to trying to better myself. Like, okay. I wanted to slim down. I wanted to get fitter. I wanted to better myself, and coming into the big sort of medallion year, I wanted to do well, and that was sort of whenever you sort of start to get picked up and things like that. So it always sort of like a checklist. Never got ahead of myself, but it was always the next thing I wanted. So if I achieved something, so I made the medallion team. Mm-hmm. So the next thing after that was coming into the seniors the next year and fifth year, and then trying to make the firsts, and then making the firsts, and then trying to get into trials for the Ulster 18s. Mm-hmm. Got that, and then managed the captain first 15 as well for Wallace. And so a goal of mine when I was at Wallace as well was to play Ravenhill then, which is now Kingsbarn, in the Schools Cup, and obviously got there, but bitterly disappointed when we lost in the semi-final to BRA, which was big Hendo and Stu Oldham.
Of course, the result, it wasn't what you wanted, but what did you make of the atmosphere when you finally stepped onto the pitch?
Oh, it was amazing. It was it made you want more. Like, it made you want to do that every sort of weekend. Obviously, it wasn't to what you get on a Friday night at Kingsbarn, but it just give you a feel for it, and it was everything I sort of dreamed of as a kid to play in that, and then it made me aspire to do more as well. So
it's fantastic. It sounds absolutely class. Would it be a similar process then?
Yeah, pretty much the exact same. Talked about being competitive, like, and I went off chalk and crisps around the same age as when Kyle went off chalk and crisps, but that was obviously 3 years behind. So right. I'm constantly asking him, like, when is he going to go back on it, so then I can do another 3 years and catch up with him and beat him on that. But no, but like pretty much the exact same setup. And when Kyle left school and got into the Ulster Academy and stuff, like, I kind of realised that might actually be an option then, and I kind of was then aspiring to do that myself, and kind of break into the academy and stuff like that there, and Irish 20s and things like that, and something that, because I started off quite late in the rugby in terms of where Kyle started, like, I was just playing it and it hadn't even crossed my mind, and then once Kyle started doing these things, that it then was like a reality where that I might potentially do that myself, and And then the competitiveness comes back into it, and I want to play with them on the weekends and stuff like that there. So that's kind of the next step where I'd love to be out there playing it side by side. Like, I think that'll be pretty good now.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. What about how closely you followed Ulster Rugby when you were younger? Of course, you've mentioned, going through the ranks at Wallace and the Ulster setups, but in terms of the first team and maybe watching a bit in TV, was that something you did as well, or has that developed a bit over time?
It definitely developed over time. When I was younger, it sort of I didn't do as much as I probably should have, but over time I started going games and realising that this is what I want to do, and then started collecting programs actually. So I've got a chest of drawers at home with a load of programs in it.
Right. How many do you think you've got?
40 odd, 40, 50.
So proper collection then.
Yeah. But it's now a thing that I do now, that every game that I play in, I'll make sure I get a program and keep it and bring it home. My dad likes to store them, keep them away. So it growing up, it sort of got, as it did, like rugby got more and more popular, Ulster got more and more popular, and I sort of started to follow a bit more. Yeah.
What about social media? Of course, the last few years it's really taken off in terms of analysis, but also the banter that you can have. We'll talk a bit about the skills that you boys, the McCall Skill School. Is that
that's the name,
thing, isn't it? Yeah.
McCall Skill School.
Tell us a bit about that.
Well, he'll probably say that he created it, but I don't know.
No intellectual property rights yet?
Yeah, no. It's kind of split between us at the minute. Yeah, but no, like it started off by like literally I hadn't started university yet, and had a bit of spare time, and didn't really know what to do with myself, and just messing around in the kitchen, like chucking tea bags and stuff like that there, and ended up pulling a few off, and was like, maybe this might actually catch on, and just put a few videos up on Instagram, and then Kyle followed suit and just took a few into his own hands, and he seems to get all the credit for it now.
Right,
so,
okay. And is there a slightly different account then, Kyle, from you?
Yeah, a wee bit. But to be fair to him, he started the first for a couple, and he said he was in uni and stuff like that, and it's just a bit of crack, and I got a GoPro there last year and just sort of messing about with it and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's just, it sort of probably comes into a bit of our game anyway. Like we like to be quite skillful, and even as front rowers, like
it's the new age, isn't it? Really, it's the new style of front rowing,
and it's just a bit of crack, like just something to do in our spare time, and obviously. It happens first time,
Of course, it's gonna happen. How many times you have to do the takes? Just once?
Just the once. Right, doesn't take too long to video or anything now. So,
in terms of social media, then you're mentioning Instagram. How much has that helped squad bonding and the ability to keep in touch with your buddies off the pitch as well? How much has that been a good thing?
Yeah, definitely. It's sort of you can have a bit of crack whenever you're at home. Then there's like tagging boys and stuff, and just sort of challenging boys to think like different things, like the skill thing. Like I challenge Zach obviously to.
I think Cooney's caught on to a few of it now, and he wants a bit of the attention now, so he's thrown up a few himself there. Yeah, but like I think it's obviously very good. Like if someone puts up something about that some of the guys are a bit questionable about, like they're definitely going to hear about it. Like, so there's a bit of banter that way. But like on the other side of things, like it's important that like you're not on your phone around training and stuff all the time, and you're actually like communicating with guys like in first hand, and not spending all your time sitting on your phone, like a training or whatever. So it's good in one way, but then like you kind of need to get away from it and stuff when you're in it training. So
It's funny though, a lot of the boys would give us a good bit of grief about the skill school. Like Bestie, before I came today, he was like, "Oh, where are you two going?" Just going to promote the skill school, McCall Skill School.
Of course, it's part of a tour. What we haven't mentioned yet is this is part of a tour, not just around Northern Ireland, but the whole of the UK. To talk about the skill school. In terms of the squad then as a whole, would you say there are some who are definitely quite a bit funnier than others, or some who are a bit more willing to put stuff up on social media than others?
Yeah, well, Zach's
obviously you boys.
Zach's already mentioned them, but Cooney would be very fond of an Instagram of his pizzas anyway after games, but
you like honesty, isn't it? It's good policy. Fair enough, I'm having a pizza here.
But whether it be that or boys getting beat in FIFA and stuff like that, but no, it's good. Like it sort of it tightens the squad.
Mm-hmm.
It makes us come closer together, and it makes that banter just flow. So.
Yeah, in days gone by, the old adage was that players were encouraged not to look at the papers, and look at maybe some criticism that might have been sent their way. With social media, how do you balance, boys, the banter you have, of course, with the other guys, but also maybe seeing stuff, or trying not to see too much analysis from the games?
I just don't really focus on that, just sort of focus on the game and listen to Les and Jono and Dwayne about what we can do better, what we didn't do well. Like, obviously the supporters will can be upset, and they also can be really happy with how we performed,
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we want to do well for each other and for the supporters. So it's just about listening to the coaches and getting it right week on week, and sometimes we don't, and it's about how we can bounce back from that.
I think that that's probably the newest thing with professional rugby, that someone's always going to have a say on things, and if you've had a bad game, we're not oblivious to that. We know we've had a bad game, and we know how to correct it or steer away from it, and I think that's just a thing that's coming with the new medias and stuff like that there, so I think it's something you have to deal with yourself, and I don't think players read into it too much or anything, but if you've had a bad game, they know they've had a bad game, so they can just kind of move on, and try and rectify it,
Yeah. On the flip side, I'm sure you guys have got some fantastic memories, one of which being a game, Kyle, you captained for Ulster. Zach, you were playing as well. I mean, it must be fantastic to look back at those moments and smile.
Yeah, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that game. That was last pre-season against Canada A. Sort of the first time me and Zach threw on a white shirt together, and
that's class.
Yeah, which was amazing, and my dad and mum loved it as well. So. And for me, it was the first time I captained, Ulster A anyway. And for me, that was an amazing experience to be out there with my brother. Yeah,
I think what kind of made it sweeter was that it was actually quite a good game, and it was quite a fast, skillful game, whereas if it had been just slow and trying to grind out a win, it might have taken away from it a wee bit. But I think because it was such a good game to play in as well, that kind of made it a wee bit sweeter,
I think it helped that it was a home. Well, it was a home game as well.
Yeah.
And to run out in your home in Kingsbarn Stadium with your little brother captain the side,
doesn't get much better than that, does it?
It doesn't. It's just the next step is trying to get both of us on the field on the Friday night.
Yeah.
But hopefully that'll come, and we can share that experience again.
Yeah. What do you boys do, or what are your favourite things to do then to chill in your downtime?
McCall Skill School.
That's it. That's just it. It flickers between the matches and McCall Skill School. It takes, what you haven't told me is it actually takes all evening every night to get one tea bag in a mug. That's it. Let's be honest, boys. No, what are some of the things you like to do?
Kind of following the crowd a wee bit, have a big interest in coffee at the minute. Like I know like people joke like all you do is drink coffee all day, but like like a genuine interest, like learning like the background behind it and stuff like that there. So that would be an interest of mine. Like, and I've just finished uni there last year, so that's just like a kind of hobby of mine, like just kind of getting up to date and stuff like with what's going on behind that, so that would kind of be my kind of interest, outside of rugby. But
yeah, there's a bit of a coffee culture in the squad as well. Yeah. We've had in the Baldy barista himself, Callum Black, and Cavey too. And have you had a chance to sample any of their stuff?
Just the coffee. No comment.
Yeah. What about you, Cam?
What they're doing is very good.
Yeah, it's class.
The coffee's really, really nice in there. Like, it would be one of my favourites.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, a lot of people like are attracted by the donut side of things, but I don't think people realise like how good the actual coffee is as well, which is nice to see as well.
Yeah, and being in Lisburn, plenty of cricket around and hockey and so on as well. Are there some other sports? You obviously mentioned the motocross side of things too earlier.
Well, I don't do it I don't really do it anymore. But when I was school, it was we both played cricket in the summer. Like,
good stuff.
Something to do whenever the rugby wasn't on.
Yeah.
But we both really enjoyed it. Like, I wasn't the best at it. Like, I wasn't the best batter or bowler. But if a ball came anywhere near me, I would stop it. Like.
Well, no matter what cost. Yeah.
Like, and I was the same, played a bit of cricket, and my team at school was actually very, very good, but I just managed to find myself on it, if you know what I mean. Like, I probably wasn't the best either, but we got to a few finals, won a few like junior cups and stuff like that there, and through no credit of my own, kind of just have the medals and kind of just thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. TFC. Yeah. No, it was good because we played for the school, but we also played for Lisbon Cricket Club. So like whenever we were younger and there wasn't much to do with the summer, we'd always go down to Wallace Park.
Spend the day there,
Spend the day just playing, doing nets and.
Good place for batsmen, Wallace Park.
Yeah. But I actually think like that is important to kind of. We got away from the rugby, but we're still like playing a sport that like required like good like hand-eye coordination and stuff like that. There, it kind of would have give you another side of another set of skills, and somehow you could maybe transfer that over into rugby somehow. But just that like hand-eye coordination, like reactions and stuff like that. There, always thought that was pretty good, and that's kind of what kept me involved with cricket and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's also that getting that team sport, team aspect. Like whenever rugby wasn't on, you had something to play with your mates and go down, spend the evening training, and then playing a game at the weekend. That's very important. Like. Yeah.
Do you have any sporting idols? Any particular sports people from any sport that you would say you draw inspiration from?
Well, Sergio Parisse has always been like a guy for me, just the way he goes about his business and his leadership and stuff like that. But another one is Roger Federer, and it's just the way like he's just so composed all the time, like, and like no matter what kind of game it is that he's playing in, he's like he's always just so slick and just so cool-headed, and that's something that I kind of really look up to,
Yeah.
And those two guys are pretty big for me,
Yeah. Never really like thought about it, but like someone who I love watching, really strange, but Usain Bolt. Just like I wouldn't watch a lot of athletics, but whenever he's on the TV, like I suppose it's most people, but whenever he's on the TV, I just have to watch him. He's just amazing to watch. And other than that, not really. Like, I look up to my dad. My dad taught me, brought me to first rugby session, and he was very influential. He's gone to like nearly all of our games, no matter what the standard, what the level, he's always there supporting, and it's something that he loves to come watch. He looks forward to the weekends just to watch us play, and I think that's pretty amazing.
I think you're kind of afraid to tell him if you're not playing at the weekend because he's all of a sudden in bad form. Yeah. So like Kyle could be playing. Kyle could be playing Leinster on Friday night, and Dad would go down and watch, and then he'd be back up home, like chatting to Kyle and stuff after the game, and then I could be playing in Cork the next day for a club or whatever, and he would be down watching again. So like he travels all over the place watching. Like he was over in Clermont when Kyle was playing last season and stuff. So like he's been all over the show, and like we love him. Come and watch, like.
Yeah, we're looking ahead in the fixture list to a couple of away games this weekend, La Rochelle, and of course a novel one, a new one in playing the Southern Kings away in South Africa as well. How cool is the thing, is tours? How cool are tours whenever you get to that level of playing for Ulster representative or Ulster, and being able to go away with the squad to different places? Yeah,
it is. It's amazing, but something that I probably don't really take advantage of enough. But whenever I sort of thinking about rugby, playing a rugby match, it doesn't matter where it is. I'm just sort of solely focused on playing that game. Like it doesn't matter sort of where we're going. But yeah, it's amazing to travel all over the world to play a sport that you love. And as you say, the Kings game's coming up, and that's going to be a new experience for a lot of us to have like a longer sort of, normally like if it's over in France, over in Italy, or over the day before the game and home the day of the game. But the Kings game's going to be a bit different. We are going to have to go over there, train a bit out there, and then play the game, and then come home a few days after. So yeah, it'll be an amazing experience. Obviously, if I'm involved, it'll be class to be involved. But yeah, it should be different.
Yeah, and a few South African boys in the setup as well. I'm sure they might have some ideas as to things you guys could check out.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll look after us all right over there. But I think they're excited to go over there and play at a place they grew up playing in. So yeah.
Kyle, you mentioned earlier about the atmosphere at the Kingsbarn on Friday nights and just how electric it can be really from the crowd. Have you noticed this year, in particular, with some of the wins recently, obviously the Wasps game, and you look at the Scarlets result as well, have you noticed the crowd perhaps being even louder? They're seeing a certain type of rugby being played, and they're very much enjoying it.
Yeah, honestly, at the weekend there, it was amazing. There was sort of, I try not to take notice of the crowd, but there was just one moment that we were attacking their sort of 22, and I just sort of heard the crowd lift, and you could just see it lifting the boys around you and just making them all work that slightly bit harder. And it's an amazing stadium, and it's amazing to be able to play there on a Friday night whenever everyone's just cheering and going off.
Yeah, and Zach, you must be looking forward to hopefully getting more of that and down the line, and you must both appreciate it, I'm sure, as well, just how unique that crowd is and how loyal Ulster fans can be.
Yeah, like I was down watching the Connacht game there a few weekends ago, and like those interpros, like, because it's like a home province, or an Irish province, like you'll always get nearly a full house, at Kingsbarn, and like the crowd was going insane, like and like I certainly had never even experienced it like that before as a spectator, like it's mad, and you can see it just getting more and more interest, like even around town, like you see people like wearing Ulster tops and stuff, like, and that's just like getting more and more by every day, and there's just increasing a big fan base there, and it's really good to see, and hopefully I get a run with the A team here at the minute, and even for those guys, there's been a bigger interest there already, you know, and we were playing in Banbridge there last week, and it was packed out as well, you know. So it's really good to see that, even at the smaller sides, you know, and then that obviously feeds on to the senior side, you know, and it's really good to see.
And finally, boys, are we able to get any teasers or hints as to what the next coaching from the Skill School might be? Or is that all is this all top secret sort of classified stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of top secret, you know.
Zach did one there. When was it? The start of the week.
Yeah.
Zach did one at the start of the week, and a few boys are thinking there's something dodgy going on because the tea bags came in at a different angle, but it's all legit.
Yeah.
All legit.
Yeah.
No magic, no sort of.
No magic.
Just skill.
Yeah. Just plenty of hours.
That's it. All week, as we've just heard. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, look, boys, thanks so much for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure, and all the very best with not just the skills, but of course the matches themselves. So I will chat to you soon, and thanks everyone for listening as well.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers.